The Probe Dental podcast is presented by the Dental Awards. The Dental Awards is the original and most respected awards programme in British dentistry. 2021 marks the 22nd anniversary of the event, and over the decades it has recognised the outstanding individuals and teams whose commitment and drive continue to raise standards throughout the profession. The Dental Awards is attended each year by more than 600 clinicians. Winning or being a finalist is a tremendous accolade and provides a massive publicity boost to the profile of your practice and your team. After all, who wouldn't want to be treated by the dentist or dental team of the year? For more information about entering the 2021 Dental Awards, please visit theprobe.co.uk/awards. That's the-probe.co.uk/awards. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Probe Dental Podcast with me, James Cook. We've got a great episode for you coming up today. Our guest this week is current BADN President Jacqui Elsden. Very excited about this conversation. Established in 1940, the BADN, or British Association of Dental Nurses to give it its full name, is the UK's professional association for dental nurses. It operates specifically for all dental nurses, whether qualified, unqualified, working in general practice, working for the NHS, private, armed forces, industry, practice management, reception. All dental nurses are covered. It's only with the continuing support of dental nurses, though, through its membership, that the association can continue to support dental nurses themselves, negotiate on their behalf, and represent the interests of dental nurses at all levels. That was certainly the case this past summer when the BADN launched a campaign calling for dental nurses to receive recognition for their contributions to dentistry. The pandemic in particular highlighted the treatment and pay conditions for a lot of dental nurses, which sparked the campaign, and the response has been huge. We've certainly seen it on the Probe's Facebook page. We posted the link to the article. The comments section just completely blew up, as the kids say. Yes, I will repeat that. I don't know if you can call it a joke, but comment later on, as you'll hear during my conversation with Jacqui. Jacqui and I discussed this at length, as well as her background as a dental nurse, how she got her first taste in the profession while on work experience. A little drama mixed in there as well. It's a great story. She then qualified at King's College Hospital Dental School back in the 1980s, and she was elected BADN President late last year in 2019. Whether you're a dental nurse or hold any other position within the dental sector, I think you're really going to find Jacqui's perspective extremely insightful. So without holding you up any further, let's get to it. Hi Jacqui, how are you?
Hi there James, I'm fine thank you. How about yourself?
Not too bad. I think we're in a new kind of era of lockdown, aren't we, as we record this, with multiple tiers and more confusion than ever. How are you finding it?
Well, we're all right down here in Sussex at the minute. We haven't been subjected to too many of the more severe restrictions, so we are able to sort of freely move around outside and things. It's just getting together with friends and family in larger numbers than 6 that we struggle with, but it's fine. I'm happy to do that. It's not going to be forever, but we can still meet each other online. Pretty much, Facebook and Teams and Zoom have been lifesavers, really.
So obviously, I know earlier this year, you're the president of the British Association of Dental Nurses, the BADN. Obviously, earlier this year, the BADN had a big anniversary. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. We're 80 this year. We're celebrating being 80 years old. We did plan an awful lot of events throughout the year. Sadly, because of what's happening with the pandemic, everything was cancelled, apart from one event which we actually took online. It was our 80th birthday afternoon tea, event. We had planned for it to be at the dentistry show earlier in the year, but of course that was cancelled, and we decided to bring it online. So we had a great response. We invited obviously all of our members, and we had some special guests, and it was good fun. We got together, we had the obligatory quiz, of course, the online quiz that we do with our family every week, but we thought we would do it and have a nice social event, a bit of positivity, I suppose, within all the negativity. And we had very, very excellent feedback in terms of how it went, and everyone enjoyed themselves. So we're actually starting some coffee catch-ups on Saturday afternoons once a month, whereby members can come, grab a coffee, log in. They'll get some updates as to what's going on at BADN and what we're doing for our members. And then we can have a little bit of a chit-chat. So we're hoping that's going to be as successful. So a little bit of professional element there, and some social element, just to keep everybody's morale high.
That's fantastic. I mean, it's great to kind of hear that despite lockdown and all the restrictions we have in place, obviously the technology is allowing you to carry on providing that for your members. Could you tell us, Jacqui, a bit about your background and your role as BADN President?
Yeah, of course. I came to dentistry, to dental nursing, in my last year of secondary school, would you believe. We had to do a week's work experience, and I really didn't know what to do. My mum said to me, how about going to the dentist? So actually that's what I did. I popped down there, asked them if I could hang around, if you like, for the week, instead of going to school, which was great. And that's where it all started from. So I do remember, though, on the first day, I actually fainted. So it caused a bit of a problem for them, really. It was I was observing an extraction, and I actually fainted, hit my head on the floor, and I was hugely embarrassed. But they did take me back. They were all very good about it, and it didn't put me off. I still wanted to be a dental nurse, so I then applied to the London teaching hospitals and left school at 16 and started my training. So, the rest, as they say, is history, because qualified in 83 at King's College Hospital. After that, I stayed on a year at the hospital and worked in the children's department as a senior dental nurse there. However, when I got married, it was too far to travel, so and we'd moved to Sussex by then. So I then moved to general practice. So I was chairside nursing until 2004, when I started work with the NHS. And back then we were known as the Kent, Surrey and Sussex Deanery. So I was asked to join the team by a lady called Kate Matharu. So I'm very grateful to her in terms of giving me the opportunity to work in dental nurse education, and that's the path I took after that. So I got involved with assessing and verifying dental nurse qualifications related to the City and Guilds exams. I became an NEBDN dental nurse examiner. I then got involved in their quality assurance committee for a number of years in relation to course providers for the qualification. I also was involved with the KSS FGDP diploma in clinical dental technology as a tutor. So I have had a lot of experience in education and designing, delivering, commissioning dental nurse training. I also did a little bit of research, got involved with that, and completed an MSc in professional practice. in 2016, which I'm very proud of, because I didn't really have the opportunity to go to university when I was at home. My parents weren't able to do that, so I'm quite pleased that I was able to actually complete my qualification and graduate from the University of Kent.
Fantastic, congratulations.
Thank you. So that's about it, really. I mean, I've done a few other bits and pieces for GDC and FGDP as well, but in the main, I've followed the route of education and have enjoyed that immensely. And that's, I think, how it brought me to BADN. I've always been a member, but a colleague of mine asked me to join the executive committee as their education rep a few years ago, and it sort of moved on from there, really. I enjoyed supporting BADN because, as you know, it's a voluntary position, and it sort of led me to think that, well, actually, I would like to become president and try and influence and change, if that was at all possible. So I guess with my sort of president role, in terms of what that entails, I'm really there to ensure that BADN members are represented at local, regional and national meetings, and events and exhibitions that support dental nursing. So, and it's, having the right conversations with external stakeholders and organisations within dentistry, so that dental nurses are supported, through the wider community, really. So I've been a part of a number of working groups during COVID, because actually my role has been impacted. I can't move around or travel as much as previous presidents may have done, and so we've brought a lot of the things online, as many other organisations have as well. So I've been part of the FGDP's guidance on getting back to practice. I also contribute to the Advancing Dental Care project within HEE, and I've been part of other research groups, giving some opinions and that type of thing in terms of resilience and infection prevention control. So it's been very, very interesting, and I've met numerous colleagues within dentistry that I might not otherwise have met. So it's ensured that I have been very busy indeed, James.
It's great. I mean, obviously we're using Microsoft Teams to speak right now. I mean, it's given us in a certain sense, it does give you the opportunity to meet more people. You're not having to travel across the country just to meet one person. You can set up meetings with people up in Scotland, down in Cornwall, all on the same day.
Absolutely, and I think that's a positive thing that has come out of the pandemic, in terms that a lot of things that we had planned to do, let's say, and I'm speaking generally here in dentistry, that colleagues have been able to come together, and those things have been expedited, really, in terms of the fact that we can get together more readily on screen.
So obviously the BADN's been very active, and you've been building that community, and it sounds like sort of doing kind of even more so during the pandemic. What exactly is the BADN, and why should dental nurses consider becoming members if they're not already?
Okay, so we're certified as a trade union. We have trade union status, so the same status as the BDA. So we have transparent processes for elections of posts. So that means that I'm in a limited term of office, so I can't be president forever. And we have those fair processes. So, BADN provides support, really, for dental nurse members. If they have issues, employment issues, any other issues, they can come to us. They call in, they can email. We have a legal helpline, so we offer that service as part of their membership package, and that's available 24/7. Indemnity as well, we offer that. We signpost our members to an insurance company, and so you can get preferential rates as a result of being a member. We also have access to Health and Wellbeing Hub, which is really important actually in these times, because we have had a lot of contact from members with concerns about their employment and how are they going to make ends meet. They are tired, they're exhausted, having gone back to work and, wearing this enhanced PPE, trying to get their head around all these different processes. What can they do? What can't they do? So health and well-being, and there's a lot of conversation around mental health, positive mental health. So we are offering that service to our members, and we have had excellent feedback from them in terms of it has given them a sense of support. So that's really useful to know as a member. If you don't know that already, you can access that facility. We also offer CPD for our members through the quarterly journal. As a dental nurse, we need to be able to obtain 10 hours of CPD in any 1 year, and the journal actually offers 8 hours. So you're almost done in terms of CPD by using the journal and the articles that are there. We also offer money off on goods and services, so we link up with companies that can actually provide discounts to our members. And again, with it being a little bit tough financially for a lot of people, these are often quite good to tap into. We also have a facility for applying for a Totem Pro card. I don't know if you've heard of that before, James, but it's like a student discount card, and BADN have secured this for professional learners and also BADN members. So depending on what type of status you are, whether you're a professional learner or a professional member, you can still access some discounts there.
Fantastic. Is that for high street retailers and online?
Yes, absolutely. So in fact, I've used the professional membership offers discounts at your local co-op store, and throughout lockdown I lived in the co-op because I didn't want to go to a larger store, therefore encountering larger numbers of people, and they always had everything in stock. They never seemed to run out of anything, so that was always pretty good. So yes, high street stores and also online. So there's a lot of scope there for members to be able to save money. There are also offers there for holidays and days out, and sadly, we can't do that currently, but there are some opportunities there for links to UK breaks and cottages in this country. So if members are getting a little bit fed up, they might want to go on there and treat themselves if they're able to. So that's pretty much what we do. There's an awful lot more to discover. I've sort of just touched on a few things there, but we have a members area on our website where members can access an awful lot more things.
That's right. So obviously it's great to you obviously support your members no matter what, but obviously there was a bit extra, I guess, that's come in during the pandemic. On top of all of that, another reason I was actually really excited to speak to you today, we obviously the BADN, despite everything else going on, recently put out a call for dental nurses to receive the recognition that they deserve for their contributions to dentistry. So I certainly know about this because we reported on it on the Probe website, put it out on social media, and I think the technical term that the kids use is it blew up on social media. Yeah, so yeah, obviously, it drew a lot of attention. What prompted this?
Well, a number of things really, James. And I think lockdown served to highlight, what dental nurses do, what dental nurses face in terms of barriers within their role. And we had a huge amount of contact, calls and emails at the beginning of lockdown where we couldn't go to work. And there was a lot of distress really amongst the membership, certainly those that called us to say that, what's going on. I've been told that I'm not needed anymore. I've been made redundant. I'm not going to be getting my pay. I have to take my holiday instead of, in lieu of pay. All these sort of different issues. So it was mostly employment related to start with. And when we looked into it a little bit more, we realised that the majority of these calls were coming from NHS and mixed practices. And we realised that perhaps there was a connection there in terms of, we know that the NHS practices were being paid as normal, and therefore they were being encouraged to pay their staff as normal. And sadly, in some instances, this wasn't happening. And so we had to support our members in this respect. And we felt that we needed to make a noise about this. We felt that it was unfair that dental nurses were not being paid as they should have been. And we then, discussed and wanted to raise the issue further of that whilst NHS in practices employ their dental nurses, it's actually the contract holder that receives the benefits that NHS provides, such as pension, sick pay, etc., etc. And in the pandemic, our dental nurses were going to work, were being redeployed, I should say, if they were going to work for other areas within the NHS, but they couldn't access those hours before the supermarket opened that were reserved for NHS employees because they didn't have an NHS ID card.
Wow.
So it meant that, whilst they were stepping up and supporting the NHS in different areas, they weren't being recognised in the same way. And so we felt that we would do something about it. But it prompted us to actually, raise these concerns. Once everybody had gone back to work, we weren't, going to do it within the period of, complete stress, if you like. We wanted to wait until things had settled down, that people were back at practice. So, following the announcement that dentistry could go back after the 8th of June, we waited a while until members were happy about their new ways of working or not happy about their new ways of working. And then we decided we would, launch our campaign to ask for recognition, because dental nurses still, even now, despite having to pay for registration, CPD courses, and I know that's a bit of a sweeping statement because not all dental nurses pay for their own. Some practices actually do support their dental nurses very well. But there are pockets where dental nurses aren't supported, and, they pay out a lot of money, GDC registration, CPD, etc., etc. And a lot of them really bring in minimum wage. So we felt that we needed to say something about it, and so we did.
I mean, it's great that you put that out there. I mean, I didn't realise that, I guess, practice owners of NHS dentistry or mixed practice could act as gatekeepers, I guess, in a sense.
Yes, absolutely, and that's pretty much what's been happening. So we wanted to highlight these areas that perhaps other people, weren't aware of either. And we know that, some people weren't happy about reading, about the campaign and about how dental nurses may have been treated or were treated in the pandemic. So we have had, a mixed bag of response. We have had some support from CDO. We often are invited to her workshop, CDO of England, Sarah Hurley. So there has been a portal created for those who felt they didn't have the treatment that they should have had in terms of their salary and pay and employment conditions, that they can put these issues down on the portal and it will be looked at.
And I mean, it's obviously the response you say, I mean, has been mixed. I mean, would you say it's been largely positive though, or
Yeah.
It has?
Yeah, I would, James. Largely positive. We have had a good amount of support back from those organisations that we wrote to. But for some it was perhaps a difficult read, but that's what happens. We can't win the hearts and minds of everybody, and we hope that at the very least it's opened up channels for debate really and discussion about how we might move forward.
Well, at the very least, I mean, at least that's, I guess somewhat of an outcome already. Hopefully it will, I guess, kind of spark more change in the right direction. I mean, is there anything else that can be done as far as you're concerned?
Well, I was thinking, well, more of this type of thing, James, I suppose, more exposure. And so thank you for giving me, on behalf of BADN, the opportunity to raise awareness around the issues and bring them, further out into the arena, if you like. And I am committed that we want to ensure that this isn't swept under the carpet, because it is important for dental nurses to be acknowledged professionally and financially. I think the time has come, and COVID has given us time to stop and think. And there are opportunities to be gained from that. So I think that it is important that we should not be paying our dental nurses the minimum wage for what they do in practice. So it feels a little bit juxtaposition perhaps at the moment when we're calling for better recognition of the salary, let's say, when finances are tough for everybody. But I think it's important to help people to understand that this is a real problem, and if we want to keep dental nurses in the profession, we need to think about how we're going to do that, because it's reported each year that there is a high turnover of dental nurses coming in and leaving the profession, and so you have to look at that and ask the question why. And our campaign sort of highlights why, really, James.
That's it. I mean, I think, as I say, you touched on a very good point there, where obviously practices are probably not bringing in the money that they were pre-pandemic, which obviously is of concern. But at the same time, with that turnover, I mean, there was one comment I saw from a dental nurse who mentioned that she was leaving the profession because she could be paid more to stack shelves at Sainsbury's, she said, but without the stress and without having to fork out for her own, training and development.
Absolutely, James, and you'll see that a lot on social media. I picked out one actually, knowing that we were going to speak today as well, and if I could just read that out. I mean, I've edited it slightly, but the summary of it really is that she just wanted to say that after more than 22 years as a dental nurse, she finally did it and left yesterday. Woohoo, she says. The industry has saddened me. There's no way to actually work yourself up the ladder and aim high. Low wage is still here, and we have to pay for courses, registration. There are so many dentists that offer low wages. No matter how qualified you are, there's no pension, there's no NHS pension, only for your boss, and no sick pay like other departments of the NHS. And she said, it's no wonder so many nurses are leaving. You can work in Lidl's for the same wage without all the stress. So it mirrors what you've just said, James, and you'll see that it is a recurring theme.
No, definitely. I mean, I think that's the thing maybe everyone perhaps should, I guess, think about as well. Obviously, if no one wants to be a dental nurse anymore, then what are the practices going to do?
Yes, exactly. And it comes at a time also where the BSDHT launched their campaign, whereby, they want to be supported by a dental nurse in the clinic, in the surgery. So if one hand we're understanding that dental nurses are leaving the profession in droves because of the poor paying conditions that some receive. I mean, I'm not saying that every one of them do. But, and then on the other hand, the BSDHT are asking for dental nurse support. So where is that workforce going to come from? So we need to be able to think about how we're going to retain dental nurses within the profession. So again, I mean, BADN, we're doing a piece of work around the salaries again. So we're hoping to get some data that can back up, obviously, what we're shouting about. And we've also asked our members to lobby their MPs and to provide us with stories about, what happened to them, what they would like us to do as a result of their paying conditions within their work environment. So there's still more work to do, and we're not going to sit still on this. So we do appreciate the exposure that we're having with the probe and to stimulate debate.
No, definitely. I mean, that's exactly what it is. I mean, you also mentioned, it's not all practices. I mean, I can say I've been speaking to some, kind of practice managers and to nurses within certain practices around the country, who, are more than happy with, kind of how they've been treated. But yeah, it's very much about kind of, I guess, kind of, on a blanket level at least, making sure there's a bit more of a fair playing field.
Yes, that's exactly what we want. And, in terms of private practice, obviously, that's a different area altogether. And we do have members that work in private practice. But it's a stressful time. And when you are looking for a job and you love your job, and then after a few years you think, oh, actually, I'm paying out all this money and I'm really, not being treated very well compared to my friends that I'm talking to who work in different industries or professions. And, I think we are responsible. We do need to step up and as president of BADN, I feel I do need to use my professional voice in terms of having, conversations with people and raising awareness.
Brilliant. So, obviously, if people want to know more or want to get involved with the BADN, where can they find you?
Okay, so they can go to the website, which is all the W's, www.badn.org.uk. On the website, you have got the facility to join if you're not a member already. So we welcome new members, of course, into the BADN family, and they will be able to enjoy all those benefits that I outlined earlier on, but also we have reduced our joining fee during the pandemic. So to enrol, it's £30, and as a student you can also enrol as a trainee dental nurse. You can also enrol at a much reduced price. But on the website you'll find everything you need, and there are contact telephone numbers on there if you want to actually talk to somebody. We're more than happy to have a conversation with you on the phone.
Fantastic. Excellent. Well, Jacqui, it's been absolutely great speaking with you today. I'm sure we'll have more to say down the line, and I say fingers crossed, hopefully this campaign continues to kind of hit all the right notes and kind of incite some change.
Thank you, James. I really appreciate the opportunity today in terms of raising the awareness, and we do hope that we can make some positive progress with this. So thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us.